Winning the love of any fandom is no easy task, but those who make it into the hearts of a dedicated community like Eurovision's have a network of passionate supporters who will be with them for life. The artists who have been selected to return to Eurovision again and again occupy a truly special place in the pantheon of the contest's biggest names. So we're going to explore what sets a Eurovision icon apart from the rest in a very special edition of Eurovision Tops and Bottoms that we're calling Icon or I Can't.
Or if we're in the UK, it would be Icon.
You should replace me with a Brit, and then the pun will work.
Listen, I lived in the UK for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
I count.
You count, you cunt, you can't.
So, to help us explore what gives an artist staying power, we're joined by a real-life fan favorite himself, Barrett Foa. In addition to being an accomplished Broadway performer, Barrett played Eric Beale on NCIS LA for 12 seasons, which is more seasons than even the most iconic Eurovision act has ever been asked to return. Barrett, welcome and thank you.
It's so great to be here. Hi, guys. So good to see you again.
Hi. Yes,
I know, and you don't have to be underwater this time.
So we haven't told Barrett about the game yet. There might be an underwater component.
We catch the audience up on what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's a very good point. The reason we say that Barrett gets to be dry this time is that he also starred in my music video, where he was underwater for hours.
And hours and hours.
And hours.
As the one person on this podcast who is not underwater, I think it builds character. I think
I'm a stronger person for it. Let me tell you.
So we know how being underwater works, but Charlie, how does this game work? Well, look at that segue.
What a transition. So the way this game works, Barrett, is we're going to play you a Eurovision performance by a particular artist. And then we're going to play you another performance by that same artist. Now, the second performance could be their triumphant return to Eurovision, or the performance could be their failed attempt to re-enter Eurovision. You, Barrett, are going to have to identify which is which, and therefore whether the artist you're watching is a Eurovision mainstay or just a Eurovision one-hit wonder. Going into this, what is your base knowledge on Eurovision?
Because the game was called Tops and Bottoms, I thought it was going to be a completely different question.
So before we begin, what's your knowledge about Tops and Bottoms?
To answer your question, I don't know almost anything about Eurovision, except for the fact that my good friend and co-star on the show for 12 years, Daniela Rua, was the host when Portugal was the winner. Did I watch that year to support my friend? No. But I was proud of her. And I've, of course, heard about Eurovision. I know the whole, the ABBA started there. And I did a little research for this podcast. Because you guys know you're so prepared and researched, so well researched. I really have been learning a lot about Eurovision. So thank you.
Awesome.
But I've never watched a clip or heard anything from Eurovision. So I have no idea what it looks like.
The year Daniela hosted. It was a very dramatic year. Someone stormed the stage and took the microphone out of the artist's hand. So all that NCIS LA training, where did that come in? She should have stopped him.
I like to imagine that after the broadcast, she was trolling the streets of Lisbon.
If anyone could tackle someone, it would be Daniela Rua. Or at least her stunt double.
I like that she brings her stunt.
That's the problem. They didn't hire her stunt double with her.
I think people should bring a stunt double for life.
It's true.
Mine would mostly be walking upstairs and reaching things in high places.
Can you get that towel for me? My back is going to go out.
Yeah, exactly. So, Barrett, I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about how you and the writers navigated growing Eric over the years, and did you confront resistance from fans who maybe were invested in an initial version of the character?
Yes, and absolutely not. So at first, they made Eric Beale a surfer because we were it's NCIS LA. No one actually talked to me about that. It just suddenly the scripts. I'm not a surfer, and I don't really give surfer energy. So
Barrett, people look at you and they see water.
So they surferized me, but it just wasn't a fit. And I think the writers realized that. And then they started turning Eric into more of computer geek. The second part of the question was the fandom. And the answer to that is I have no idea, because I did not follow the fandom. Sometimes something would come my way and I'd be like, that is interesting, but not interesting to me.
a response to everything I tell you. These Eurovision artists too. It is interesting when you see a performance that becomes iconic and then that artist then tries to like go on it and take the fandom in a different direction because artistically they're growing and they're in a different place.
That's sort of the problem. I was listening to one of your episodes and this woman's like, I would wake up in the morning and look at what the fans would say. And then I couldn't get out of bed. And I was like, things I don't need in my life. Like,
all right. So Estonia is where we are starting our game. First up, we have the band Malcolm Lincoln. You might think that this is a person, but Malcolm Lincoln is actually a band named after a moment on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where a contestant identified the 16th president of the United States as Malcolm Lincoln. And so first, we're going to hear their 2011 Eurovision song, Siren.
So give me time and give me strength to carry on. Give it a bit of hope now, help me through the night. So give
okay, already this looks like a mix of the Temptations on the stage of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. But then there's also like a sort of a 60s shag element, Strokes element. This camera work is giving me nausea. It's a lot of spinning. He's pointing a lot. It's a little hop and a flare.
Immediate thoughts, reactions.
Got his velvet jacket and his shaggy hair, and I feel like it's like 3 notes. It's cute, but it's not totally grabbing me. But I'm excited to see the next clip,
which is called Bye. We are asking if Malcolm Lincoln returned to Eurovision with this song, or if their road to becoming Eurovision icons got cut short.
Okay, some falsetto here. He's not a front man to me. Oh. Yeah. It's sort of like Jack McBrayer meets maybe one of those blonde-haired guys in Harry Potter. It's a little bit more of the same. And I don't know why this blue blazer was picked. It does not seem like an upgrade. I'm going to say I can't.
And you are 100% correct, Barrett. This first song did not even make it out of the semifinals. It's just like there are too many layers of irony in a way for you really to connect to them. It's like the band's Malcolm Lincoln. There's 5 different kinds of retro going on where it's like the Temptations. I think you also said the Strokes.
It's an identity crisis.
Yes.
Put in song.
Which actually, identity crises are the one thing that keep returning in my life, but just not.
And also on Eurovision.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So next we're going to move to Elisabeth Andreasen, or Bettan, which she's more commonly known as, who is part of the pop duo Bobby Socks that entered Eurovision with La de Svinge in 1985.
Can you see why I gave Magnus this person?
Harmonies, 80s pizzazz, love the neon, and I like, there's like the 50s throwback, which was big in the 80s. Love the gloves. I don't know about the skirt, but it's sort of circus tenty, but oh, I love it.
Yes.
There for it. I feel like this was the moment. They're sort of not in the age bracket of what a pop star would look like right now.
You said not typical age bracket of a pop star. We're going to move about a decade later. Now, it's not Bobby Socks, but Bettan is still there. I evighet. For forever.
Already, I'm just getting like a Hillary Clinton vibe.
Totally. Strong haircut.
Oh. Okay, sort of like a mixy thing. What song is that? Hold on, this sounds like don't cry out loud, just keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. Peter Allen. These boxy blazers. Oh, a pan flute is happening. Is that a traditional Norwegian instrument?
The pantsuit is actually a traditional folk Norwegian costume.
The intervals are tried and true. It's an ear hook and an earworm, but I don't know if this would have like really popped for me. So I'm going to say maybe I can't. I don't know.
I'm sorry to break it to you, Barrett, but that's
feeling.
wrong.
I had a feeling.
The first song, La Svinga, won the competition in 1985, and I Evighet came in second. So
11 years later, yeah.
She's one of the few people who has managed to both take
First place and second place. It's a very small
not just
category.
that, she has been in the competition 4 times, all times landing in the top 10, and a guest on this episode.
Oh my God, I just dragged her and she's the guest.
It was the lightest drag, Barrett. The number of times that we've had a guest on this podcast who I'm like, they're the face of fascism. Anyway, now cut to. One of the things that I like about those 2 clips, though, is the sort of evolution of it. I really love the swing song. But there's something cool that she has this other side of her that is like this total like power ballad.
I like to say that Eurovision treats their stars the way Broadway does.
In that they don't get paid.
No, so you look at the ultimate pop diva, it's going to be people in their 20s, maybe 30s, right? When we look at the ultimate divas of Broadway, it's going to be like women in their 60s and 70s. And Eurovision functions a little bit similar.
Yeah. We have Katie Wolf, who represented Hungary in 2011 with What About My Dreams? Which actually is a question I ask myself a lot in the mirror. So...
This color is very now from last week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, but that's another story. Some raver action here. Okay, I went to Burning Man with these guys. Sort of looks like Marlene Matlin to me.
Oh my God, totally. Initial reactions.
I'm not super excited about what Katie Wolf has to say next, but that was
Wow.
entertaining enough.
Maybe Katie can make up for it with this next song. This was 2015.
I'm scared this ballerina is gonna upstage her. It's like a park and bark. Does she have it? Okay, so I love the slit. I love the fan. I feel like this did well. This was a glow up, and I'm gonna say icon.
She did really poorly on both of those songs. You, Barrett, seem to sense that that first song did not place well at Eurovision, which it did not. And she did not make it back in. I was like watching these clips today and I was like, this is fucking fierce. I love What About My Dreams. Again, it really does, hashtag representation matters, relate to my life.
In that you can hit the notes?
Also,
Well,
Charlie's favorite vocalist is Elaine Stritch.
That's the thing.
Right.
You know?
But not even actress, just vocalist.
No, just like, what do I want to, my alarm is set to her screaming rise over and over and over again.
Is that what makes you up in the morning, literally?
Yeah.
Telling you to rise? That's actually...
Yeah. And then I wake up and I shout, what about my dreams?
Here we have Senhit, who represented San Marino with Stand By.
Fire. I like the syncopation. She's got personality, great smile.
Oh my God, that sounds like my mom trying to set me up on a date. They have a great personality.
I don't understand what these 2 guitarists are doing on stage.
They might not either.
I like it. Her charm, her connection to the camera, to the audience. I'm taken.
So now we're going to move to 2021 with Adrenalina.
Oh, what's happening? Oh, this is a choice. Oh, this is cool. Visuals. Was she honoring Flo Rida?
I'm sorry, Barrett. We have to have you guess before we explain.
I don't know what she was doing or where it was going, but I liked the visuals and it seemed modern. So I'm just going to say icon.
So,
Yes.
And you are correct.
Yes.
Initially, she was going to return in 2020. That was the year that was canceled. And then she was invited back in 2021 with Adrenalina. And up until the grand final, there was a big question. Is Flo Rida going to show up?
Flo Rida shows up at Eurovision and has no idea what Eurovision is and keeps telling everybody that he has no idea what Eurovision is. And he performs in the grand final at Eurovision.
She's tonight performing at $3 Bill here in Brooklyn.
Do you think I can make it?
We'll be there.
We're going to be there, and we're sitting down talking with her as well. So
Yes,
she will also be
yeah.
on this episode.
Why was she wearing that face crown thing? That feels risky for a live performance.
Yes.
There's like a mic handoff moment. I feel like maybe it's probably pre-recorded.
Not pre-recorded at all, Barrett.
It's illegal in Eurovision.
And also Eurovision in most countries airs without commercials. There's a limit of 40 seconds that you have to set the stage before you begin.
Eurovision has had opera dangling on a giant pogo stick. They've had human-sized hamster wheel, a double-sided burning piano.
Is there a blooper reel though?
This is the thing that's wild about Eurovision. I always say that I feel like it's a techie's wet dream.
I've downloaded that movie.
Generally speaking, there's not mistakes.
You guys have so many names and dates and countries and facts in your little brains. So I don't really know what else you have room for.
Barrett, that's the problem. I'm not like a functional human being. We do have another singer that we are going to introduce you to, Barrett. Her name is Linda Martin. And the first clip that you're going to watch was her representing Ireland in 1984. The song is called Terminal 3.
I made arrivals by the time he had said I searched the information for little red. Terminal 3, flights on time.
Wait, I'm already feeling this white jumpsuit.
Searching through every
Nails, dangly earrings, one short, one long. Trumpets. I feel like there's an over-the-bar phrasing here, which we really like. Lean, I love the lean. And then the reach and the grab. I feel like this bracelet is not really matching the belt or the necklace. I'm really into this. I'm excited to see what she's going to bring next.
So this is 1992, so we're talking 8 years later. And the song's title is another question I frequently ask myself. Why me?
Okay, a little more Park and Bark. Got an elegant gown. I really like her vocals. Good technique, healthy. And she's phrasing well. Coloring the notes. Nice like spinny vibrato. She's singing all the way through the phrases. It feels a little fuddy, almost like a step backwards, like almost going into like backwards into 70s, like Karen Carpenter era.
I will say time is a construct in Eurovision.
Okay, good.
Yeah. The viewing audience for Eurovision, they market it as a family show. So there always is a little bit of a gap between Eurovision and the charts because it's not as youth skewed. Like this was 92 and countries, I believe at this time were still required to provide a full orchestra for acts because, you know, that's what music is.
Right. Right. It sounds like it. I feel like this sort of like not like forward thinking, but I'm into it, and I'm going to say icon.
100% correct.
Yes, you nailed it.
Linda Martin is an absolute icon. That first song came in second, and the second song won the competition.
Yes.
There are only 5 people in the history of Eurovision, I believe, who have done that. And then beyond that, both of these songs were written by this guy, Johnny Logan, who is one of only 2 Eurovision artists to win the competition 2 times as a performer. And also then, obviously, he won it as a songwriter, too. So the Irish really like him. Another amazing fact about Linda Martin is that she is also a guest on this episode.
This is jam-packed with stars.
Yeah. If you're doing an icons episode, you got to get the icons. Are you developing a theory on what makes a Eurovision icon, Barrett?
I think I am. I think that it's like, do you have stamina? Can you make it through all of these semifinals and year after year and even come back? I just didn't realize the scope, how it could be like Park and Bark and how it could be like a zillion dancers and visuals and lights and lasers and smoke. I feel like it really has range, and I was surprised at that.
Barrett, thank you so much for joining us.
I love this. Educating and enlightening.
All the mysteries of the Euroverse.